Welcome to another episode of the Men in Conversation series, a podcast series in collaboration with the Kolisi Foundation and Justice Desk Africa.
I'm here with Mark from Lavender Hill. I think he's doing quite important work, and the work is around sports and education. Food is always involved somehow because that's something that we lack in our communities. So I'm from Zweden. I grew up in Sweden and I was raised by my grandmother. My dad moved to Cape Town to go look for better opportunities for a job. He stayed in Robertson. So then I stayed with my grandmother, my aunt, and my uncle. But meals were quite a problem for me. But you know what helped me was to go to school every day, and you would get a slice of bread with peanut butter or jam and with the powder milk where they just pour. So that was my meal for a day. And you know, the kids that have that are fine, that get lunch from home, so I would ask them to take, so I would have a whole loaf, and that would be my meal to carry me up throughout the whole day. And I think if I didn't have that, I probably would have went on for a while without eating. And I think, yeah, and I couldn't. It was difficult to do homework in the morning before. To do schoolwork because I can't concentrate properly, and to play sports as well. With that kind of not eating enough is very difficult. So I just wanted to chat about what you do and how important it is. And obviously, sport helped me a lot to get me out of a lot of things. Just tell the people what you do.
Our sports foundation is mainly around sports, education, but very important, like you said, feeding. Since COVID 2019, I would say 2020 side, we've been able to feed like 300 meals a day. You know, and with the meals that we feed, it's easy to then educate our young people, and not only our young people, but our elderly. But for us, the sports and within our young people, and my belief is that sports is a healer. You know, coming from a very bad background, I had good parents, you know, my mother, my father. I lost my father when I was still very young, but it was in an abusive relationship. Growing up, struggle was always real, you know. There were times when we got a bowl of rice, and that was our feeding for the evening. And for me, being where I find myself now, you know, coming from a life of abuse, of drugs, of violence, you know, I was a vagrant, you know, for quite a few years. And when the turning point in my life came and I changed my life around, I had to do something for young people, and it started with sports.
I see how comfortable you are to speak about the things like the abuse that you used to do, like the alcohol and drugs and stuff. How do you tell the young boys the things that you used to do and everything, and how does it make you feel? You know, like how does it make them feel? You know, and you know, do you think it makes a difference that you are honest with them? It's because I know coming from the township, and it's the same things that I've done as well. And I think coming free and leading with that, this is who I used to be, and this is who you don't have to be, and you don't have to learn. I mean, you don't have to go through what I went through. How is that with the kids? How do you speak to them?
Speaking, I always get very emotional when I speak about it, you know, because I never forget where I came from, you know. I never forget what I did in my past. And for me to speak to our young people, you know, it's very emotional. And it makes them realize that I'm not speaking only out of my mouth, but it's out of my heart. You know, because I've experienced a lot of things, you know, a lot of bad things I've experienced, and I wouldn't want for them to go through the same thing that I've gone through, or any other men that has been in the situation.
And they see you as this powerful person that's coming here to change the environment around them. But when you give them those vulnerable moments, I think that's also powerful, because they can see through you, because maybe they don't get it at home, that as much as we are in these positions, we are also vulnerable. We also went through these things, and I think that's amazing for the kids. You know, they get to learn that they need to get in touch with a not soft side, a vulnerable side. You know, it's also strength side, and I think that's important. And what you said earlier, sport is healing. That was for me. That was my happy place. You know, with everything, doesn't matter what I go through through the day. When I get on that field and pick up a rugby ball, I can express myself, I can be myself, I'm in a happy space. And I think some people think sports is just a game, but for some, it plays a huge role. And for me, if it wasn't there, it wouldn't be. And I think it's powerful what you are doing, what you guys are doing there. And I think it will make a huge difference. You might not see it now. Kids might see, maybe don't listen at times, but when you're not, the moment that you're not there, when they're not around you, if it's on holiday, it goes away, they will miss that, But I encourage you not to get tired. And I always tell the people this, that my life was changed by a school teacher, a teacher that cared about me, who cared about not just as a young man, that my father wasn't around because he looked for opportunity. So he took that place. He took me where I needed to go, and he told me how good I was. And he fought for me to get a bursary at a school when the school didn't want me. And now I'm here because of him. And I always tell the teachers and people who work with young children, you are with the kids more than they are there with their parents. So what you say to them, the way you behave around them, may leave a long-lasting thing. And us as men especially, how we behave, how we talk to each other, and how I behave on the field when I have moments where I'm angry, that will the kid will probably look at that as see the hero and say, okay, that's how you act as a kid. So we have a huge responsibility as men, not only at home, but in the community as well. So thank you for everything you do. And I'm glad we could be the little help as we can be. But I would encourage that, like these conversations, like that you can have more in the community, especially with men. Get more men, not just young boys to help, but more elderly men, so the young boys can see, what, I'm not too cool for me to do this.
Yeah, no, because what we've now started off, I do parental counseling in schools as well. So kids get suspended because of bad behavior. So we take them on, because we currently have building a youth center on a gang war field. So we've moved on a little bit. There is some progress. There's a fence around. There's some containers down. So we are able to actually link up with the schools where we don't want them to send these children home, because when these kids get suspended, they go onto the streets and they don't go home, because now there's idle hands, and idle hands can do all the wrong things as a young person. So we do parental counseling. The schools must send them to us. They send their schoolwork, and then we do some motivation with them just to support them as well.
No, amazing.
It's very important.
Thank you to you and your team for all that you do. And I'm not thanking you from me alone. I think from a lot of people in South Africa, because no matter how big or small the difference we're making, it makes a difference going forward. So yeah, I would love to see you again, and I would love to come to Lavender Hill, by the way, and go see the kids. But yeah, we'll make a plan. But I encourage you to keep on going, and yeah, thank you so much. If you would like to support a community kitchen like Mark in Lavender Hill, please reach out to the Kolisi Foundation.